Kapow! Hi, I'm Dad.
Yeah, Max.
And what are we drawing today on Drawing with the Blakeley's, Max?
Batman.
Batman! Awesome! So,
Punch.
oh!
Pow. Punch.
Come
Critical.
draw with the Blakeleys! Alright, bam! It's time to draw Batman, the Brave and the Bold. That's right there.
And also, there's a spider underneath my chair.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is.
There was just a little bit of spider web under there.
And there's a little bitty spider.
Alright, shall we, Maxie? Let's start with what?
What? I don't know. Eyes.
The eye. I don't know, the thing we always start with. So yeah, we're gonna go flat on the bottom, curve around on the top.
Perfect.
Nice. Oh, but you were gonna start a little higher.
I don't care. I want to draw myself a big bat symbol up here.
Okay, I'm good with that. All right. Now, in between we need to have the Batman nose. It's kind of like a little bit of an arrow that's pointing downward. Okay.
No, my cap fell down.
That's okay. You don't need it till the end of the video. All right, and then there's a line. And one thing I kind of like about this guy, I mean, I like that it's kind of a combination of, like sort of, it's a little bit like Batman the Animated Series. So it's a line, and then it comes up, and it actually has like a little bit of a thing that goes in, up, like that. And then it's straight up into the ear part. So I was saying, it's a little bit like Batman the Animated Series, but not exactly. All right, now it's gonna come across, and it's gonna end up over here by the ear. It's not a super, like, big curve. It's kind of a shallow curve. And then this one's gonna be a little bit bigger, and it's going to go straight down into the neck. All right, nice. So anyway, I started to say a couple of times, I really like the fact that this Batman's like very, like kind of geometric, and that is actually going to extend above the top of the cowl there. He's like very, you know, when you talk about somebody like a certain person who's got a strong jawline, they call them square-jawed, and Batman is like almost literally square-jawed in this. He's like more like a rectangle jaw, but still. Okay, so it's gonna curve like that, and this part's gonna end up being dark, but within that darkness, he's gonna have his eyebrow ridges here, and these will not be black. It'll be the one part that's not black. Okay, and they're just kind of like little, almost like S curves. Awesome. Now, as far as his mouth, it's kind of high up on his face, between his mouth and nose. It's like right here. And then underneath is the shadow of his lower lip, which is just like a slight, like a very shallow, flat arc. And then his chin is curved like that. It's like the cleft in his chin. And now, he's going to have a little bit of this action going on. He's going to go, he's got a little bit of a shadow under here. That's funny that he's ending up a little bit more elongated than when I drew him previous times, but I kind of like that. I'd rather him be a little bit more long than be like, you know, too wide. All right, so his coming into his shoulder. Oh my gosh, you made yours super long. I like it though. Okay, so that's gonna be shoulder on that side, and his shoulder on this side, and his shoulder on this side almost immediately goes into his cape. So his cape is like It's gonna be like a swirl here, like a kind of arc there. And then coming off right here, kind of a flatter arc. And these are sort of the folds in his cape. And then it's gonna kind of curve. Like right here is sort of where it sits on his shoulder. And this is the last one, and this is gonna come up.
Oh geez, I made mine way too.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. All right, now from this side, they're gonna kind of curve the other way. They're gonna go up and over his shoulder, up and over, and that's the one that's gonna go all the way down. But it also meets here. It's gonna come up to sort of the point where it starts to, where his bicep emerges from underneath, which is where that is right there. Okay, now, I like yours, Max, but you did not leave yourself a lot of room on the bottom. But that's okay, because when you hit the bottom of the page, just stop drawing, and you can, yep,
Bat symbol.
it's gonna do a bat symbol up there. Okay. Before you go too far on that though, let's do the next step, which is this bicep. So it's gonna go out and almost to a point, and then it's gonna start to curve back down. Boom. All right, and then his forearm muscle here is gonna be like a shorter bulge, and it's gonna go into his bat glove, to his knuckle, and to his finger. And again, very geometric. So like as we come back in from his index finger to his thumb, it's like this cool curve, reverse, squared off finger, squared off pad, boom. And then for these fingers, these two are gonna be about the same length, curve, curve, and then a slightly shorter one, curve. Awesome, I like how that turned out. All right, so let's do his chest here, and it's gonna be kind of a strong pectorals that narrow into his waist like that. And for that, it's gonna come in. I'm just gonna kind of define his glove a little bit there. And this is gonna come in right about here is where his belt is gonna be, his waist is. On this side, we are going to do this. We're gonna have it go out. And again, we kind of want to follow that same line so we can make him symmetrical. And then it's gonna curve back in the outside of the bicep, and we want the elbows to be more or less in line. So it's gonna come right about down to there. So curve back in, and then reflect that. So that kind of bulge there. And that's actually gonna come all the way down into the hand, the glove here. And I'm just keeping an eye back and forth that they're kind of balanced. And then this hand is super squared off. It's like, and again, that's part of what I like about this is how geometric he ends up being. Okay, his one knuckle is slightly apart from the others. His fist, like at this angle, almost reminds me of like a shovel head or something. Okay, now before we go away, I want to actually draw in his thumb, curve it back, and like that. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to make this line, and it's going to start to curve away because already his arm is getting thicker. We're going to do the other side of this bulge. Alright, and then we're going to have the inside of the elbow come like that, and then that's going to come into his bicep, and we want it to be fairly big into his armpit. There we go. Now, before we go any further, let's define his pec a little bit. It's going to come in here and go up, and then sort of the shadow of it falls down here into the shadow of his armpit. And now, let's do the other side of his waist, which is going to come in and narrow quite a bit as it comes down towards where his utility belt is going to be down here. Nice. All right. As far as his utility belt, let's see. Oh, I like it, Maxie. And we're going to color this all in later. Let's make that utility belt though. And in this Batman is a very straight, strong horizontal line. It's a little bit up, like if this was you or I wearing this belt, it would be like over our belly button. So straight line down, straight across at the bottom. And then when we draw the belt buckle, it is contained within, like sometimes with a belt buckle, you'll make it slightly larger than the rest, but his is just exactly inside the belt that we already drew. Give him a couple of these little guys here, which are like his little pouches on his utility belt. They're just little squares. And one there too. Okay. Let's also define his sort of upper pectoral muscles a little bit here. And a little bit of sort of the top of that part. Nice. Oh, before we go too far, let's define the top of his glove. And
Did that.
one thing that Batman has that I have not drawn yet is he has these things. This sort of on his gauntlet here. There we go. Can't draw Batman without those. Those are pretty iconic. Ooh, I love yours, Maxie. Let's do a bat symbol. Okay. Oh, you know, before we do that though, I want to define the outside edge of here with his cape. It's going to come down and go right in between these guys and trail off down there. Okay, so bat symbol. So we're going to have curve, and it's going to go up, and it's going to go down. And this part I associate with the Batman. To me, it looks more like the Batman 1960s show than say like any of the Batman movies that I've seen. Yeah, and color that in. That's gonna be black. Although I guess also the comics, you know, it's closer to some of the iterations I've seen there. Whereas like the 1980s Batman movie, it's like super curvy. And I feel like the more recent Batman movies, it's much more angular. It's like very like geometric. This is kind of a balance in between those. It's got these curves, but it's also got a lot of sort of geometric stuff going on there. Okay, so as far as below the waist, we're going to continue this line down for his leg. We're going to come down, and his big muscle here on his leg is going to extend just a little bit lower than his finger, but it's going to kind of echo that curve that we made with the finger, like that. And that's going to go down into his knee. Boom, boom. Again, very angular. And that's going to take us down and off the page. All right. As far as this side goes, we're going to come down. It's going to be partially blocked by the hand. And we're going to do his sort of, I don't know, I was thinking this is his underwear that he's wearing on the outside. I realize it's not really his underwear, but this is going to be like a very subtle kind of an S curve, like that. And it's going to be more or less in line with where that ends. And then his other leg, because his hips are slightly turned, his other leg is going to come out from his hand here, the line for it, and it's going to come in front, and it's going to swoop down like that to also have a knee. Let's just define this line. Comes down right here, and then when it hits the knee, calf. And then same thing here. This is going to come down and right off. And finally, kind of from the middle here, it's going to come down and in, and then it's going to start to flare off because of how his legs are aligned. Awesome. And we can do just a little bit of this sort of give a suggestion of the end of the back cape, which is very sort of bat wingy. On this side, it's going to extend down from about here, and it's going to go like that. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. I think yours is pretty awesome. Let's do some coloring and we'll come back, all right?
Woo!
have it, folks. Batman. That didn't turn out too bad, huh, Maxie? Now, in between stopping the video and starting it, we did already put our names on there, but if you at home did not sign your work, please do so. All right, Maxie, if these folks at home like our video,
subscribe, ring the bell.
well, no, you got it backwards. Click the like button, just like we see here on the screen. And if they want to subscribe to our channel so they can watch more of our videos, yeah, right there on the screen. And once you click it, it'll show you the bell, and yeah. So Batman, I thought this was awesome. And you know something cool, Max? This is, for those of you who are regular watchers of our channel, this is our 40th video. So that was part of the reason why we did Batman. We wanted to do something a little more fun for number 40. All right, well, why are you drawing a snowman? Anyway, so we're gonna let you go.
That's cool.
And don't forget, if you have any suggestions for things that you'd like us to draw, go ahead and leave those in the comments. Otherwise, I'm Dad, he's Max, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!
Like.